Hi, Virgo. Two forces are moving toward collision, and when they meet, the impact won't destroy, it will forge, will create something neither could build alone, something that multiplies strength instead of dividing it. You might not see it yet, might not recognize the person or the potential, but the universe is arranging pieces on a board you're not watching, moving you both into position for an alliance that doesn't just support, it amplifies, where 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals exponential. Let me describe what power looks like when it finds its match. Most relationships operate on addition or subtraction. You add value to each other's lives, or you subtract from each other's energy. Simple math, predictable outcomes. But rare connections operate on multiplication, where what you each bring doesn't just combine, it catalyzes, creates chemical reactions that produce something entirely new. That's what approaching not a relationship that completes you completion is stagnant. A relationship that propels you, that takes your existing trajectory and accelerates it beyond what you could achieve solo. Some people confuse power couples with wealth or status or public recognition. They think power is about external markers, about being seen as successful by others. But real power is about capability, about two people who make each other more effective, more creative, more courageous, more alive than they are apart. It's the writer and the strategist, the visionary and the executor, the dreamer and the builder. Two people whose skill sets don't overlap, they interlock, creating structure where there was just floating pieces. You might already know this person, might be orbiting each other without recognizing the gravitational potential, mistaking chemistry for friendship, confusing compatibility for convenience, or they're approaching, um, moving into your sphere from outside it. A stranger who won't stay strange long because recognition will be immediate once proximity allows it. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider, is there someone you've been underestimating whose potential matches yours in ways you haven't acknowledged? Maybe you've been seeing them through limited lens as just a friend, just a colleague, just someone in your circle, without really looking at what they're made of. But power recognizes power. And when you're both ready, when you've both developed enough individually, that combination becomes possible without codependence, you'll see each other differently. You'll notice how they think, how they solve problems, how they carry themselves through challenges, how they build instead of just consuming, how they show up instead of just showing off. And something will shift from this is a nice person in my life to this is someone I could build empires with. Some people spend entire lives with partners who are lovely but don't push them, who are kind but don't challenge them, who are stable but don't inspire them. That's not what this is. This is meeting someone whose ambition doesn't threaten yours, it ignites it. Whose success doesn't diminish yours, it expands the definition of what's possible. This reflection invites you to consider, what would it feel like to be with someone who makes you want to be more instead of smaller? There's something specific about what makes a power couple versus just a successful couple. Successful couples might both have careers, both have goals, both achieve things, but they do it in parallel. side by side but not integrated. Two separate success stories that happen to share a dress. Power couples create synergy. Their strengths feed each other. Their networks overlap strategically. Their visions align enough to build together, but differ enough to cover more ground. One person's weakness is the other's strength, not in a codependent way, in a complementary way, where gaps get filled naturally because you're covering different territories. You might be the face and they're the strategy, or you're the creator and they're the connector, or you're the visionary and they're the operator who makes vision real. The combination creates something neither could do alone, not because you're incomplete without them, but because you're more capable together, because partnership multiplies capacity instead of just dividing resources. Some people are threatened by partners who shine bright. They need to dim their own light or watch their partner dim to keep things comfortable, to prevent competition, to avoid comparison. But power couples don't compete, they collaborate. Don't see each other's wins as threats. See them as proof that success is possible, as inspiration, as evidence that the household, the partnership is rising. This reflection invites you to consider, could you celebrate a partner who succeeds as much or more than you without feeling diminished? Let me describe what the beginning of this might actually look like. You might notice yourself talking to this person differently, not just surface conversation, deep dialogue about ideas, strategies, visions, finding that they meet you intellectually in ways most people can't or won't. And those conversations energize instead of drain. You leave them feeling sharper, more clear, more capable, like talking to them upgraded your thinking. Or you might start collaborating naturally, working on projects together, finding excuses to combine efforts, discovering that what you produce together is objectively better than what either produces alone. That's chemistry, but not romantic chemistry, creative chemistry, strategic chemistry, the kind that builds things that last. Some people rush to romance with everyone they have chemistry with, but smart people recognize that some chemistry is meant for partnership that has nothing to do with bedrooms and everything to do with boardrooms. Though often, not always, but often the two can coexist, can interweave, can create relationships that satisfy on multiple levels simultaneously. You might find yourself trusting this person with vulnerabilities you usually protect because they don't use your admissions against you, don't see your struggles as weakness. See them as human and therefore relatable. And that vulnerability creates safety, that creates deeper connection, that creates foundation strong enough to build empires on. This reflection invites you to consider, when you imagine a partner, do you imagine someone you rest with or someone you build with? There's something important about timing and why this is emerging now. You might not have been ready for this kind of partnership before. Might have needed to develop individually first, to become someone who has something to bring to a power dynamic instead of needing someone to carry you. Power couples require two people who are already powerful individually, who don't need saving, don't need completing, just need someone who matches their energy and elevates their game. If this person had arrived earlier, it wouldn't have worked. You would have been at different stages, different levels of readiness. The timing would have been wrong even if the people were right. But now you've both built enough independently that combination becomes possible. Now you both have enough going on that partnership enhances rather than replaces individual identity. Some people stay too enmeshed to build power. They merge so completely that two identities become one diluted identity. And dilution isn't power, it's just two people becoming less than they were separately. Power requires maintaining distinct identities while creating unified vision, being individuals who choose to align forces rather than individuals who lose themselves in fusion. This reflection invites you to consider: have you developed enough individually to be ready for partnership that multiplies rather than merges? Let me address what you might need to do to be ready when this person becomes clear. First, keep building yourself. Don't wait for partnership to give you purpose or direction. Show up already purposeful, already directed, with momentum that partnership can accelerate but doesn't create. Second, be honest about what you're building and where you're going. Power couples require transparency about ambition, about vision, about what you're trying to create in the world. If you're hiding your dreams because you're afraid they're too big or will intimidate people, you'll never find someone who can build them with you. Third, recognize when someone matches your energy instead of just fitting your type. Your type might be wrong, might be based on patterns that haven't served you, might be limiting you to people who feel familiar but don't actually elevate. Someone who matches your energy might surprise you, might not be who you pictured, might challenge your assumptions about what partnership looks like. You remain in complete control of whether you recognize and embrace this dynamic when it presents itself. You can lean in or resist, accept or remain in familiar but limiting patterns. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has brought up curiosity about who this might be, maybe excitement about potential, maybe resistance to the vulnerability required in real partnership, maybe recognition that, yes, there is someone whose energy matches yours in ways you've been dismissing. Whatever it is, honor it, take what resonates, softly release the rest, trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. Would you rather be with someone who makes you feel comfortable or someone who makes you feel capable? Drop it in the comments, honestly. And this: what would you need to release about yourself to be ready for a partner who matches your power instead of needing you small? You don't know it yet, but you and this person are going to be a power couple. Not because the universe ordained it, but because you're both becoming individuals capable of that level of partnership, building yourself into someone who has something real to bring, developing into someone who doesn't need completion but would benefit from amplification. And when you meet, or when you finally see each other clearly, if you've already met, the recognition will be undeniable. The potential will be obvious. The pull toward collaboration will be magnetic. Not eventually, soon. The pieces are already moving. Trust yourself with this. Trust that you're ready for partnership that challenges you to be more. Trust that being powerful together doesn't mean being less powerful individually. Trust that the right person multiplies your capacity instead of dividing your focus. See you in the next one. And listen, power couples aren't made of perfect people. They're made of two people who are powerful enough individually to create something extraordinary together. Keep building yourself. The partnership will arrive when both of you are ready to multiply. Stay powerful, stay ready, take care.